8 recent mysterious and haunting archaeological discoveries that shook human history. A legendary golden city believed to hold the greatest treasure in South America vanished without leaving a single trace. An ancient tomb containing 6 women arranged around a mysterious cauldron has sparked years of debate among archaeologists. A remarkably well-preserved ceremonial chariot was pulled from layers of volcanic ash after nearly 2,000 years. And beneath the foundations of ordinary homes, under dense forests, and beneath seemingly unremarkable fields, countless ancient human remains have been quietly telling stories that humanity had never known. Together, these discoveries prove that the past has not become any clearer. On the contrary, every new discovery seems to reveal even more mysteries. Some discoveries have forced the world to rewrite history. Some artifacts have overturned long-held scientific theories. And some questions remain unanswered to this day, despite humanity possessing the most advanced technology ever created. Hello everyone! Welcome to Ancient History, the channel where we uncover mysteries buried by time and explore some of the most extraordinary stories ever recorded in human history. Today, we're embarking on a remarkable journey in which every discovery serves as a doorway into the distant past. You'll meet a Maya queen whose teeth were inlaid with rare jade gemstones, explore a 1,700-year-old cemetery that was accidentally discovered beneath the basement of a home in France, follow the trail of a 1,500-year-old nobleman's tomb featuring an unusual burial ritual that has never been fully explained, and learn about 9 prehistoric human skeletons recently excavated in Nghệ An province, Vietnam, revealing how people lived there as far back as 6,000 years ago. Then, by the end of the video, we'll venture deep into the Amazon rainforest in search of the legendary lost city of Paititi, discover the fossil of a giant spider that lived tens of millions of years ago, and witness a nearly perfectly preserved Roman ceremonial chariot that survived the catastrophic eruption which destroyed the ancient city of Pompeii. And believe me, every discovery featured in today's video is the result of archaeological excavations carried out in recent years. Every artifact represents a forgotten piece of humanity's memory, awakened after lying hidden in darkness for thousands of years. But what makes these discoveries truly extraordinary isn't simply their age or their archaeological significance. It's the mysteries that continue to surround them. Because sometimes, a discovery doesn't bring the past to a close. It opens the door to more questions than ever before. So, are you ready to join me on this incredible journey? If you are, let's get started right now. 24 medieval warriors buried with their weapons shock archaeologists in Poland. Just imagine this for a moment. What if you were having a completely ordinary day at work, and the excavator beneath your feet suddenly struck a cemetery that had been buried for more than 1,000 years? How would you react? Would you be calm enough to keep digging when no one had any idea what might still be hidden beneath the ground? Sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, doesn't it? But the truth is, this actually happened in real life, and what archaeologists uncovered afterward was even stranger than anyone could have imagined. The story began in 2024 during the construction of a natural gas pipeline in the village of Borkowo in northern Poland. As workers were excavating the site, they unexpectedly noticed unusual signs beneath the soil. They immediately stopped all construction and notified the local authorities. Within just a few hours, archaeologists arrived to examine the area. At that moment, no one realized they were about to begin one of Poland's most remarkable archaeological excavations in recent years. So, what do you think they found? One ancient grave after another slowly emerged from the earth, and as the excavation continued, more and more burials were uncovered. Eventually, experts determined that the site was a cemetery dating back to the 10th century, meaning it had remained hidden for over a millennium. But what truly stunned everyone was the identity of the people buried there. Archaeologists uncovered the remains of 24 adult men, all resting beneath the soil. What made the discovery especially unusual was that nearly every one of them had been buried with weapons. Doesn't that seem a little strange? Normally, a cemetery reflects how people honored and laid their loved ones to rest. But here, every grave seemed to tell the story of a very different life. Alongside the skeletons were battle axes, arrowheads, knives, rings, and strings of red agate beads, all still lying in their original positions after more than 1,000 years. Just by examining these artifacts, archaeologists were faced with a major question: who were these men really? Determined to find the answer, researchers began investigating. According to the initial findings, the remains date to the reign of Duke Mieszko I, who ruled Poland from AD 960 to 992. He is widely regarded as the leader who laid the foundation for the unified Polish state. Because of this, many experts believe these men may have been elite warriors who once fought under his command. However, another theory has also emerged. Some researchers suggest they may have been among the first Christians living in the region during a time when Poland was undergoing a major religious transformation. Oddly enough, the greatest mystery isn't the number of skeletons or the weapons found beside them, it's the way they were buried. According to pagan traditions, the dead were often buried with numerous grave goods to use in the afterlife. Early Christian burial practices, on the other hand, followed very different customs. Yet this cemetery appears to bear signs of both belief systems. The bodies were buried intact rather than cremated, which aligns with early Christian practices. However, they were also accompanied by valuable grave goods, a tradition much more closely associated with pagan beliefs. And that's not all. When archaeologists carefully studied the excavation map, they noticed something even more unusual. The graves were not arranged in orderly rows, as was typical of most medieval cemeteries. Instead, they appeared to have been placed somewhat randomly, as though the burials had taken place under a variety of different circumstances. This seemingly minor detail left the research team puzzled because it didn't match any known pattern of medieval burial grounds. That is precisely why the discovery at Borkowo quickly attracted the attention of archaeologists around the world. The site doesn't simply tell the story of 24 individuals who died more than 1,000 years ago. It also reflects a turbulent period in history when ancient beliefs were gradually giving way to a new religious era. Every grave, every burial artifact, and every skeleton represents another piece of a historical puzzle. But even today, many pieces of that puzzle are still missing. So, what do you think? After hearing the entire story, do you believe this really was the final resting place of an elite force that once served Duke Mieszko I? Or do you think another secret still lies hidden beneath the surface? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Who knows, your theory might one day match the very explanation that archaeologists ultimately proved to be true. And wouldn't that be incredible? Nearly intact, 2,000-year-old ceremonial chariot reveals the secrets of the Roman Empire. Have you ever wondered what life in the Roman world would have looked like if we could travel back nearly 2,000 years to just before the moment the city of Pompeii was wiped out by a volcanic eruption? Busy streets, luxurious villas, and grand ceremonies of the Roman elite would likely unfold right before our eyes. What's truly astonishing is that although the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in AD 79 buried an entire city under thick layers of ash, that same ash ironically became a massive time capsule, preserving countless priceless artifacts for nearly 2 millennia. And in February 2021, during an excavation at an ancient Roman villa in Civita Giuliana, located about 2,300 feet from Pompeii in southern Italy, archaeologists made a discovery that stunned the world. A nearly perfectly preserved ancient ceremonial chariot emerged from the ground, carrying secrets about Roman life that had never been seen before. This discovery was not part of a treasure hunt or a search for famous artifacts. Originally, the excavation project had a very practical goal: to protect the ancient villa from illegal looters who were continuously breaking into the site. It was during the expansion of excavations in the villa's stable area that archaeologists noticed unusual signs beneath the volcanic layers. As soil and debris were carefully removed layer by layer, the shape of an ancient vehicle gradually began to appear. At that moment, the research team realized they were standing before something extraordinary. Before their eyes was a four-wheeled chariot crafted from iron, bronze, and tin, still preserved in astonishing condition after nearly 2,000 years underground. Although its wooden components had long since decayed, the volcanic ash that covered it after the eruption in AD 79 helped preserve most of its structure almost perfectly. Experts were deeply surprised, as it is extremely rare for composite artifacts like this to survive in such remarkable condition for such a long period of time. But what makes this chariot truly special is not only its state of preservation, it is its historical significance. According to researchers, this is a one-of-a-kind discovery in Italy and the first ceremonial chariot ever found in the Pompeii region. Unlike carts used for transporting goods or for warfare, This vehicle was specifically designed for ceremonial processions and elite Roman rituals. This alone opens an entirely new direction of research into the formal traditions and ceremonial practices of ancient Roman society. After the discovery, the team immediately launched emergency conservation efforts. Every remaining fragment of wood and every metal component had to be carefully stabilized and treated to prevent damage during excavation. This was an extremely delicate process, as even the smallest mistake could destroy materials that had survived nearly 2 millennia. One of the most fascinating details is the decoration on the rear of the chariot. There, archaeologists found engraved medallions depicting Cupid, the famous Roman god of love. These intricate carvings not only demonstrate the extraordinary craftsmanship of ancient artisans, but also offer clues about the chariot's original purpose. According to Massimo Ossana, then Director General of the Pompeii Archaeological Park, this chariot was likely used to transport brides and grooms during elite Roman wedding ceremonies, or to take part in important religious and festival processions. If this theory is correct, it would represent one of the rarest pieces of evidence allowing modern people to better understand Roman wedding rituals nearly 2,000 years ago. As you can see, even a single artifact unearthed from the ground can tell the story of an entire civilization that once flourished. What's even more remarkable is that today, only about 2/3 of Pompeii has been excavated, despite archaeological work beginning as early as the 16th century. This means that hundreds of structures, thousands of artifacts, and countless secrets are still buried beneath the volcanic ash of Vesuvius, waiting to be discovered. Perhaps that is why Pompeii is still considered one of the greatest time machines in the world. The largest ancient underground city in the world. The Cappadocia region in central Turkey is home to one of the most spectacular landscapes on Earth. Deep valleys, towering rock formations, and ancient homes, churches, tombs, and underground cities have been carved harmoniously into the natural terrain, creating a truly extraordinary setting. It was here that Turkish archaeologists discovered another massive underground city, consisting of at about 4.3 miles of tunnels, churches, and corridors dating back approximately 5,000 years. The ancient city was found beneath the Nevşehir fortress and the surrounding area during the course of an urban redevelopment project. As part of the project, approximately 1,500 buildings located in and around the fortress were demolished. It was during the excavation work for new construction that workers unexpectedly uncovered the underground city. The province of Nevşehir is already famous for the remarkable underground city of Derinkuyu, which once sheltered approximately 20,000 residents. Derinkuyu extends 11 levels underground and contains around 600 entrances and exits, along with miles of tunnels connecting it to other underground cities. The city includes sleeping quarters, animal stables, wells, water reservoirs, cooking pits, ventilation shafts, communal rooms, bath areas, and burial chambers. So far, researchers have recovered more than 40 artifacts from the newly discovered tunnel system. Based on their findings, experts believe that the underground city beneath Nevşehir may be roughly 1/3 larger than Derinkuyu. Rare animal bones extinct, thousands of years ago, found in an ancient Chinese royal tomb. Chinese archaeologists have discovered the first complete skeleton of a giant panda in the tomb of a Han Dynasty emperor dating back more than 2,000 years. The tomb is located in the city of Xi'an, in Shanxi Province, China. According to researchers, the animal may have been sacrificed and buried alongside Emperor Han Wendi in 157 BC as a symbol of power and status. Previously, the skull of a giant panda had been found in another Han Dynasty tomb, while only parts of the animal's body were discovered in the burial pit associated with the tomb. However, this marks the first time that a complete panda skeleton has been found buried in such a manner. The burial of a giant panda alongside the emperor is believed to have carried symbolic meaning, suggesting that the animal would accompany Emperor Han Wendi, who ruled from 180 BC to 157 BC, into the afterlife. Hu Songmei, an archaeologist at the Shanxi Academy of Archaeology, stated that this is the first complete giant panda skeleton ever discovered in an emperor's tomb. She noted that archaeologists had previously found the panda's skull in the tomb of Emperor Han Wendi's mother in 1975, but no traces of the rest of the skeleton were uncovered at that time. In addition, archaeologists have discovered a wide variety of wild animals in royal tombs throughout Shanxi province. They believe this practice symbolized the status and prestige of Han Dynasty rulers. Hu explained that her team also found the skeleton of an Asian tapir in the tomb. This rare forest animal became extinct in China approximately 1,000 years ago and is currently listed as an endangered species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Tigers and Tibetan cattle were also found buried alongside emperors. Meanwhile, the tombs of imperial mothers often contain the remains of red-crowned cranes, peacocks, snub-nosed monkeys, and turtles. In a previous discovery, archaeologists found the remains of an extinct gibbon species in the tomb of Lady Xia Ji, the grandmother of Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor of China. According to archaeologists, rare wild animals were typically found only in the tombs of emperors, empresses, and imperial mothers. Researchers also note that some of these animals may have been tribute offerings brought from southern China. Hu believes that the presence of multiple giant pandas in Shanxi during the Han Dynasty suggests that the region's climate was once warmer and more humid than it is today, creating ideal conditions for bamboo forests to thrive. As a result, archaeologists plan to conduct DNA analyses on the animal remains to determine where these species originated and what kinds of food they consumed. Hopefully, they will find answers in the near future. Until then, we will have to wait and see what new discoveries emerge from this remarkable mystery. The Ayud aluminum wedge. The Ayud aluminum wedge is a wedge-shaped object discovered in 1974 on the banks of the Mureș River, west of the city of Ayud, Romania. It was found 36 feet below a layer of sand, alongside the fossilized remains of two mastodons. Its appearance is similar to the head of a hammer. After being brought to the Cluj-Napoca Institute of Archaeology for analysis, it was confirmed to be made of an aluminum alloy, coated with a thin layer of oxide. The alloy consists of 12 different elements. This discovery is unusual because aluminum wasn't even identified until 1808, and it wasn't mass-produced until 1885. Furthermore, refining aluminum requires temperatures of around 1,832 degrees. The fact that this object was found in the same sediment layer as the mastodon bones suggests that it is at least 11,000 years old. Many believe it to be evidence of extraterrestrial contact with Earth. Some engineers claim that the object resembles a spacecraft landing gear component, similar to modern technology used in today's space missions. However, the scientific community maintains that the object was most likely man-made on Earth, though its exact origin and purpose remain a mystery. The 5,000-year-old stone labyrinth by the White Sea. The Solovetsky Islands are a group of small islands located in the Onega Bay in the White Sea region of Russia. This remote and isolated area unexpectedly hides many archaeological sites that date back thousands of years and remain full of mysteries. The Solovetsky Islands could be called the land of labyrinths, as 35 stone labyrinths, estimated to be over 5,000 years old, have been found. Locals refer to these structures as Babylons. Among the labyrinths discovered, the most notable are those on Bolshoi Zayatsky Island, which contains 14 labyrinths in an area of just about 0.15 square miles on the island. These labyrinths are very well preserved and have become a familiar research site for archaeologists. However, to this day, all information about the construction of these ancient and remarkable structures remains elusive. It is impossible to determine which power or civilization was capable of investing such considerable effort and intellect to create these strange and mysterious structures in the early days of humanity on Earth, or the purpose behind their creation. Scattered across the island are many unnatural piles of stones, some of which even contain pieces of bones. Other stone structures have also been discovered here, including a fairly complete model of the sun with radiating beams of light. Researchers believe that the existence of ancient labyrinth structures is closely tied to spiritual beliefs, potentially symbolizing a gateway between the world of the living and the underworld, a place where the souls of the dead reside. The labyrinths on the island are made of solid stone walls, constructed using stones from local quarries. These labyrinths have a spiral structure with concentric circles. The smallest labyrinth has a diameter of about 20 feet, while the largest is approximately 83 feet in diameter. Some labyrinths are designed with two interlocking spirals, resembling two coiled snakes with their heads meeting at the center. The entrances to these labyrinths are primarily located to the south. Despite having 5 different variations in their structure, all the labyrinths have only one entrance, which is also the only exit. Several theories have been proposed to explain why the prehistoric settlers of the Solovetsky Islands dedicated so much effort to building these labyrinths. In the 1970s, a leading hypothesis by Gurina suggested that the labyrinths were created as fish traps, though what exactly they were used for remains a mystery.